What happened when a talk show host pushed Melania Trump too far? The answer shocked the world. As the cameras swept across the buzzing live audience in Los Angeles, the unmistakable energy of a primetime talk show filled the brightly lit set. Viewers at home expected the usual mix of humor and sharp political commentary. At the center of it all sat Alex Brooks, a well-known liberal host, famous for putting his guests on the spot. With his signature polished grin, he exuded confidence, perfectly at ease in his domain. Tonight's episode was supposed to follow the usual script, until it didn't. With a mischievous glint in his eye, Alex leaned forward. "Tonight, we have a very special guest, someone no one ever thought would step onto this stage," he announced, his voice carrying a teasing edge. The audience murmured, curiosity rippling through the room. Then, as if orchestrated for maximum effect, Melania Trump stepped onto the stage, dressed in a sleek ivory suit, her posture radiating elegance and quiet strength. A gasp swept through the crowd. Some clapped hesitantly, while others exchanged bewildered glances. Even Alex seemed momentarily thrown off, though he quickly masked it with his usual smirk. As Melania approached the host's chair, she carried herself with composed confidence. "Thank you for having me," she said, her accent soft yet deliberate. The audience's reaction was a mix of intrigue and skepticism, setting the stage for what would soon become an unforgettable night. But not even Alex, seasoned as he was, could have predicted what was about to unfold. The moment everything changed. At first, the interview followed a familiar path. Alex maintained his usual charm, leaning back in his chair, one leg crossed over the other. "So, Melania, life after the White House. It must be quite a journey. What's it been like for you?" he asked with a polite smile. Meeting his gaze without hesitation, Melania replied steadily, "Life is peaceful. I focus on my family, my projects, and helping children through my initiatives." Alex nodded, but a glimmer of mischief danced in his eyes. He wasn't known for easy conversations, and the audience knew it. Yet, Melania's calm demeanor seemed to momentarily disarm him. The crowd listened intently as she spoke about her post-White House work, supporting underprivileged children, advocating for mental health awareness. "Interesting," Alex said after a pause. "But let's be honest, many have criticized you for staying silent on controversial topics during your time as First Lady. How do you respond to that?" The room tensed, the audience holding its breath. How would she react to such a direct challenge? But Melania remained composed, hands gently resting in her lap. "I believe actions speak louder than words," she said simply. "Talking is easy, making a real difference is harder. I focus on what I can do, not on what others expect me to say." A subtle shift in the room's energy was undeniable. Alex leaned forward slightly, his expression sharpening. He wasn't done pushing. The question that no one expected. Tapping his pen against the armrest, Alex's smirk widened. "Actions over words, an interesting philosophy. But don't you think some situations demand words, especially when the stakes are high?" His tone carried a subtle edge, testing the waters before diving deeper. Melania tilted her head slightly, her expression unreadable. "Everyone has their role. My role was to support my husband and my country in my own way." Alex raised an eyebrow. And that support meant staying silent, even when his words or actions caused division. A ripple of gasps spread through the audience. This wasn't just bold, it was incendiary. Alex leaned back, arms crossed, clearly waiting for a defensive response. But Melania didn't flinch. Letting the silence linger for a moment, she held her gaze steady. "Division has always existed," she finally said, her voice as calm as ever. "Blaming one person is easy, but it doesn't solve anything. I choose to focus on unity, not blame." The audience murmured, a mixture of reactions stirring through the room. Even Alex seemed momentarily caught off guard. "Fair point," he conceded. "But speaking of unity, there are rumors, controversies, and people want to hear from you directly about your marriage." A collective gasp echoed through the room. The air turned heavy as the conversation veered into deeply personal territory. Melania's expression remained unchanged, but something flickered in her eyes. a spark that said she was ready. The unthinkable question. Alex leaned in, lowering his voice just enough to make the moment feel both intimate and charged. Let's address the elephant in the room, Melania. People have questioned your choices, your silence in pivotal moments, even your relationship with the former president. Are you here to set the record straight? The audience sat at the edge of their seats, some whispering among themselves. This was the moment they had been waiting for, a confrontation that promised fireworks. Sensing victory, Alex's smirk deepened. But Melania didn't take the bait. Instead, she straightened her posture, her expression calm yet commanding. I am here to speak for myself, she said firmly, her accent carrying a subtle sharpness. Not for rumors. Not for stories made by people who do not know me. Alex opened his mouth, ready to interject, but Melania wasn't finished. Everyone has opinions, she continued, her words deliberate. But opinions are not facts. I know who I am and I know what I stand for. The rest is just noise. Silence fell over the room. Even Alex, usually quick-witted, seemed momentarily speechless. His smirk faltered, replaced by genuine surprise. Melania's gaze swept across the audience. It is easy to judge from the outside, she added. Harder to look inside yourself and ask why you feel the need to judge. The room erupted into applause, some rising to their feet. Alex, still recovering, attempted to regain control. Well, that's quite a perspective, he stammered. But surely you understand why people. Melania cut him off with a small, polite smile. I understand more than you think. The applause grew even louder. The question that changed everything. Alex, clearly unsettled, adjusted his tie. Searching for his next move, he leaned forward. Melania, he began, his tone deliberately measured. Do you ever regret marrying Donald Trump? A stunned gasp rippled through the audience. Even the crew behind the cameras seemed momentarily frozen. The question wasn't just bold, it was deeply personal. For a moment, Melania didn't respond. Sitting still, her expression unreadable, she let the silence stretch, long enough to make everyone, even Alex, uncomfortable. Then, she spoke, her voice calm yet piercing. Regret is for those who do not take responsibility for their choices, she said. I know who I married. I know the life I chose. And I stand by it, not because it is easy, but because it is mine. The audience exploded into applause, louder than before. Some stood, clapping in admiration. Alex blinked, his composure cracking. He opened his mouth, but Melania wasn't done. In a world where it is easy to criticize from the sidelines, she said, the truth is, you cannot understand someone's life unless you have lived it. And I do not owe anyone an explanation for my choices. The applause was deafening. After the cameras stopped rolling. By morning, clips of the interview had gone viral. The debate was everywhere, news channels, social media, coffee shops. One thing was clear. Whether you agreed with her or not, Melania Trump had commanded the room and left the world speechless. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking stories. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind.